Good morning, Sean. How are you, man?
Pretty good, Rodger. How you doing?
I'm good, Sean. How is your next stop here? And I know you did such a good job with the Giants, and I'll get into the Albany days with the head coach. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and start there because I've got Albany on my mind. I just got an email from Mark Benson, the athletic director, who I think is going to be making his way to Saratoga today. But you were on Bob Ford's staff. Tell me how that experience went, and did that help inspire you into the field that you're currently in today? And here you are, an NFL coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that working for Coach Ford at the University of Albany certainly was kind of a springboard to everything else I've done. And a few things that stick out about Coach Ford was I've had the opportunity to work for some really good coaches, but he really stood out to me in a few different ways. Number one, overall, his general philosophy of how as a coach you're a teacher, and that's what your responsibility is, to teach, and especially at that level. But even it's carried over to the NFL, you're also a mentor. These guys have to trust you, and they have to believe that you care about their well-being, and he always hit on that. And so he was great with his overall philosophy. But even he'd get down to the minute details, things that you needed as a young coach, like, hey, you never step on a practice field without a pen and a paper to write notes down so you can correct things. Little things like that you don't think are much, but really they set you up to be successful. And then, his energy and passion, I think, when I got to Albany in 1998, 99, I mean, he'd been there, quite a while, but his energy, enthusiasm, and love for football and coaching was evident every day. And it really kind of inspires you to stay in it and to have the same attitude, throughout your career.
Yeah, 44 years for Coach Ford, and you had the pleasure of coaching under him. So many coaches did. He's mentored so many. I run into so many coaches, and they bring up Albany, and they say, oh, Bob Ford, and I coached with him, and whether it was a year, 2 years, or I know him, what a great man. And now, from afar, Sean, you look at the UA program and the new stadium that they have and the CAA conference, and you can see all the strides that they are making with that football program. Do you still pay a little bit of attention to what's going on over at UA?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where they were building the stadium, and I had the chance to go to a little Albany dinner down here. Coach Ford came down, and Benson came down to New York, and I went into the city. We had a dinner, a little fundraising thing to help with the stadium. So I certainly pay attention to it, and always will. That's home for me, and like I said, you can never forget where you learned certain things and how you coach in Hudson Falls and Albany in that area will always be home for me, and I'll always pay attention to that stuff.
Sean, Brady here. Obviously, you're with the Houston Texans now, year one. Big storyline of the offseason for the Texans is going out and getting Brock Osweiler to solidify the quarterback position. What have you noticed from Osweiler so far?
Well, I'd say that the first thing that stood out to me right in the beginning, the first day the guy walked in the building was I could look and tell, and having been around Eli Manning, I could tell this guy had spent 3 years in a room with Peyton Manning. Just the way he comes to work, his professionalism, the way he got in here, spent extra time. He comes in early, he stays late. Just a true professional in the way he approaches the job. Wanted to be a leader right from the start here in Houston, and it really jumps out at you. And you could just tell the influence that Peyton probably had on him as a pro. And it's going to pay off for this guy because he really knows how to work and how to be, how to set himself up to be the guy, to be the quarterback that you need in your franchise.
Sean, the Texans also add Lamar Miller from Miami. How does that running game help the passing game?
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you can take a little bit of pressure off the quarterback in the passing game and you can run the ball, I mean, that's going to help you. Certainly the NFL has turned into, a passing league, so throwing the ball down the field, and I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, football is football, and you got to control the line of scrimmage to win football games. You got to run the ball, you got to stop the run. So having that, added, addition to your game is going to help you. And then also, what people don't realize is, now we're getting guys, we're running the ball. Now your safeties are creeping up to the line of scrimmage, and now, we're going to be chucking the ball over their head. So it helps in a lot of ways. It takes a little pressure off the quarterback, but it's also going to open up some opportunities down the field for you, which is a huge thing.
Sean, we like to bring our listeners into the show. So we got one of our top listeners, Eric, who wants to know. We already know about DeAndre Hopkins, how good he is on the outside of your positional group. But what about this rookie you guys have, Wendell Williams? Is this a name we're going to get to know? Our listener, Eric, wants to know, is Wendell Williams a guy that we're going to be hearing about this season?
Well, you know what? Wendell is an interesting guy. He's coming out of Cumberland College in Kentucky, which was an option offense. So we're kind of working with him and getting him up to speed. But Wendell's got that one thing that you can't teach, and that's speed. Now, Wendell is a fast guy. He's a vertical threat. So he's a young guy with a lot of potential, and we're trying to get him up to speed. So, I think he's a wild card. I think, depending on how well he progresses and how far along we can get him to come, it's certainly a possibility you could be hearing his name and he could make some waves. But he's from Syracuse, New York, so, I'll be looking out for him. I'll take care of him.
That little SU boy, you got to do that. Sean Ryan is with us in his first year as the wide receiver coach with the Houston Texans. We talked about Bob Ford. Let me go to another coach, Tom Coughlin. You were previously with the Giants, and your old head coach was Tom Coughlin. He'll be inducted into the Ring of Honor with the Giants. Sean, what kind of impact did he have on you and your coaching career?
Yeah, huge is the word that comes to mind in terms of impact. That guy gave me my first shot in the NFL, for that I'm forever indebted to the guy. But just the way he approached his job, if you can't learn how to coach from that guy, you can't learn how to coach. You know what I mean? It's every day he showed up, his work ethic and the way he went about it, his professionalism. He was a steady coach, a constant coach. You knew what to expect from him, and you knew what he expected from you. And really, in any line of work, that's all you can ask for from a boss is, for somebody to lay it out clean and clear for you what they expected. They expect your best, and it was very, clear cut, and all you had to do was show up and do it, and if you did that, you had no problems. My respect for the guy and my opinion of him couldn't be higher. He belongs in the Ring of Honor, certainly. He kind of epitomizes me growing up as a Giant fan. To me, everything I always thought about the Giants and that organization and the way they handle things, their class, this guy just kind of epitomizes it.
Sean, I don't want to rub it in or anything, but we're live at Saratoga Racetrack today.
Oh yeah, I heard that. It's the first time in a lot of years that I missed opening day because we started a little bit earlier down here this year in Houston. So it was the first time in a lot of years I missed opening day, and I'm not real happy about it. My family, don't worry about rubbing it in because my family was sure to send me pictures and updates of opening day, and they rubbed it in all day long on Friday. So join the crowd.
Well, speaking of family, Sean, you run into everybody up here in Saratoga at the race course, and I have a very young lady standing in front of me right now that you may know, and her name is Bonnie.
Yes, yeah, I do know her, actually. I've known her for about 44 years. So. That is my sister,
Hi.
my oldest sister. She's a good one.
Yes, she's got the microphone with her right now, Coach.
How's it going, Coach?
Hey, Bon, how are you?
I know, this is very strange. I was walking by, and I'm hearing your voice, and I knew you had the interview, but I was like, whoa. And I stood here, and I told those guys you were my brother, and so now here I am.
There you go.
Bonnie,
hopefully
what are you doing all
you
day
have questions
today?
for me, or you
I'm
good?
I'm working at the admissions.
Okay. So Bonnie's here all day, and Sean's going to be working all day.
Yeah, we're both
Yeah,
Both working.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Bonnie. Have a great day. That is that's pretty funny.
Small
right?
world.
Small world. Standing around.
That's
Here's
right.
Bonnie, and
That's
Sean's
right.
on the air with us right now. She thought she recognized that voice. Coach, go back to the football. Can you talk a little bit about your division as a whole? Andrew Luck coming back, Jacksonville. People are talking them up. The Titans have DeMarco Murray now. How about a little bit on the division as a whole for us?
Yeah, I think as a whole, I thought every team did a good job, including certainly the Texans, of going out in the offseason and addressing needs and getting better, And part of getting better, like you mentioned, Andrew Luck, part of getting better for them was getting healthy, so they did that. Obviously, when you look at the maturation of the quarterback there in Tennessee, Mariota, they're going to be improved, and they added some firepower to their running game with DeMarco Murray, so they're going to be improved. Jacksonville added certainly some defensive tools over there, so they're going to be, up and ready to go. So I think it's going to be a highly competitive league, and you know, the one thing that we talk about all the time here is, look, the NFL, as you guys know, that's what it is. It's a competitive league. There's no 1AA opponents on a 1A schedule. Everybody's ready to play every week. So it's the details and it's the playing smart that's going to set you apart and allow you to win. So we talk about, a lot about eliminating penalties. We talk a lot about winning the turnover battles, about just playing smart football, because everybody's talented, everybody's improved. And if you play smart football, penalty-free football, you win the turnover battle, you're going to win games. And I think Coach O'Brien just does an unbelievable job of kind of presenting that to the team. And, he'll have a point every squad meeting he has with these guys of hitting the details, and that'll be the difference. But overall, I think the league certainly has improved. It's going to be competitive, and we're going to have to play good football to be successful in it.
Sean, as good as DeAndre Hopkins is, as good as Brock Osweiler can be and has the potential to be, when we think of the Texans, we think about J.J. Watt on that defensive front. Now, he's going to miss camp with this injury to his back, but you've obviously studied him, seen a lot of tapes, been around him in person. How disruptive is he when he gets back? Just put into context how good he is.
He's as good as there is. That's the best way I can say it. The thing that really stands out to you is, you're in the spring and you're not in pads, and there's times when you got to take him out of a drill just because he'll ruin the drill. He's just going 100 miles an hour on every single play, and it doesn't matter if it's April, May, or if it's on a Sunday afternoon in October. That guy's got one speed, and it's 100%. And he's a tremendous football player, and obviously a huge part of what we do and what we are down here.
Sean Ryan, Houston Texans wide receiver coach, Hudson Falls, New York. You're the man. We appreciate a few minutes, and I'm sure we will reach back out to you as we need to as we approach the season. And once we're in the season, hopefully we can get you back on the airways again.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. Have a great day.
All right, take care.